Rivellon. You were my home once.
Divinity Original Sin 2 has had a makeover and its launch for consoles, so we sat down to have a proper look at what the polished version of Rivellon had to offer, only to be painfully reminded just how heartbreaking this game can be.
But then the monsters from the void appeared, attracted by our forbidden magic.
If you haven't had the chance to have a proper look at this game, now is the perfect time to have a go at it. Be warned though, it can also be a fairly taxing experience because Divinity Original Sin 2 really knows how to tug at your heartstrings. I should also mention that this video is sponsored by Honorplay, but if you want to know why I am describing the game as being heartbreaking, do stick around, but be aware of heavy spoilers for the first 2 hours of the game.
We must fight for the future of our world.
There's a big mountain to climb.
Entering the magical world of Divinity Original Sin is not without repercussions, as you might experience a small amount of chest pain. It doesn't take long for the game to pull you in with its stunning visuals and telltale isometric look, or to make you fall for the unique characters such as the well-written suave Red Prince, however rude he may be.
I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave.
It can't just be me who thinks that there is something oddly charming about the way he has absolutely no social awareness, but an absurd amount of confidence. But it's not the Red Prince that first broke my heart. The first time I felt a life-draining puncture through my ventricles was when the game, repeatedly, reminded me of what a terrible person I am. The game makes it fairly clear just who is on your side and who is not. The Magisters who captured you are bad, you and the other prisoners are less so. I know you're not supposed to be a snitch and help the Magisters, given that the Magisters are keeping you captured, but I couldn't help but do exactly that.
Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that?
It should come as no surprise then that when the boat transporting you and the rest of the prisoners to Fort Joy gets attacked by Voidvogen, which I assume is an estranged cousin of the Kraken, I left everyone behind. It didn't matter to me just how many times this small kid begged me to stay behind and go below deck to save the rest of the people on board. My health was low and I didn't plan on being a hero that day. Little did I know that this would affect how every single person I met beyond this point felt about me. Apparently, you can't leave a few innocent people behind to die without having to hear about it at any given moment. After the boat sank and I got washed up shore at Fort Joy, I took a stroll around the island and chatted to the few survivors I could find, and boy were they shady about almost drowning.
Sure wish you'd gone back to save the others.
The first time I was told off, I was affronted, and I stood my ground as I tried to explain to a kid who had just lost their parents that I was definitely in the right to save my own skin and not theirs. I was then told off a second time, and then a third, and slowly but surely a sense of guilt began to wash over me. Alright then, maybe I should have gone back and actually tried to save people as the only capable person on board. Maybe I should have shown them that they can in fact trust me and have every good reason to join my party, especially as being constantly reminded of my misdeeds really brings the mood down. I couldn't even tell someone that I'm glad they survived without a sarcastic "that's rich coming from the person who left me behind to die" being thrown back at me, which is a fair point actually. Speaking of companions, they really get to you. For my playthrough, I picked Lose, so I got the honor of experiencing the other characters as companions and friends. This allowed me to hear their gut-wrenching stories face to face. To sum it up, everything is sad, everyone is hurting. Fane's story in particular didn't just pull at my heartstrings as much as it just punched me in the face. Being an undead, Fane disguises himself with the faces of other races to avoid being attacked or scrutinized for his appearance, all while he tirelessly searches for any clues as to what has happened to the rest of his people as they have seemingly completely disappeared. Here he is, the last man left of his people, unable to show any pride in his heritage, while he's confused, hurt and fruitlessly searching for his family. What really got to me is that he's still keeping up a relatively jolly disposition, and his curiosity for the world and people he's stuck with is never ending.
No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods.
It's not just Fane's story that makes me want to pull the characters out of the screen and embrace them. It's absolutely everyone. That guy is exiled, this woman lost her kid, that kid lost their parents and have already come to terms with their imminent death and how terrible life in general is. But it's not just doom and gloom. Amidst the tragic backstories and my tendency to abandon innocent lives, there's hope. Soft, fluffy hope. If there is anything that will thaw my cold dark heart in any given game, it's animal companions. When a new good boy joins my team, I instantly feel responsible and my parental instincts kick in, shoving away the needs of my other companions, as nothing is more important than the well-being of the cutest, goodest, bestest, floofiest boys. It doesn't matter if my display of affection doesn't actually change how they feel about me. I will stop mid-fight to check on my animal companion before I save anyone else from dying. And I felt no different when this black cat joined my party.
A black cat. Here, kitty.
I have to admit that my first thought wasn't, oh yay, an animal companion, but rather, oh no, responsibility. I can't take care of myself, how am I supposed to care for a cat? I had a fair amount of trouble getting into the battle system at first, and I believe I won my first fight by sheer dumb luck and stubbornness. And if this little cat had fallen at my useless hands because it got caught in the line of fire, I'm not sure who I would have sent a strongly worded letter to, but it would have been very passive-aggressive and crusty from the salt of my tears. It's just so cute and sweet and fluffy and precious. Like I mentioned, it's not just doom and gloom, there are happy moments as well. But just because it's a happy moment, that doesn't mean it won't make you shed a tear. While wandering around Fort Joy, I was treated to this musical moment shared between Lucia and Laszlo.
Come to me, the night is dark. Come to me, the night is long. Sing for me, I'll sing along. Sing for me, oh sing.
A sweet, enchanting and calm instant with an old friend, letting you forget their less than ideal situation. It didn't really break my heart as much as it caused it to melt. But then again, I'm also the type to cry when Liliana starts singing in Origins. There's just something about the way a musical interlude that makes you forget how terrible life is, even if it's only for a little while, that really hits home. The last point on my list might be a bit silly, but it was equally heartbreaking and infuriating. The first time I became over-encumbered. Yes, this is a heartbreaking moment because this game is made for looters. Everything can be looted. See that barrel over there? Go ahead and loot it. It's full of rubbish? Doesn't matter, I am still going to loot it. Every time I got the notification that I was over-encumbered, my heart broke into a million unlootable pieces. I felt rewarded whenever I saw an object with a sweet white outline, telling me that yes, I could indeed have a peek at its contents. Didn't matter if it was empty or everything else in the room so far had been rubbish, I was still going to have a look inside. Whatever it contained was mine. Even if it was the 7th bucket helmet I had found in succession. Who knows if there is a side quest where 7 bucket helmets are crucial to solve a puzzle so a wizard will let me pass a dodgy bridge. Look, I might have a problem, but looting brings me such satisfaction. It makes me feel like I've cleaned the area, given it a proper sweep and prepared myself for anything the game might throw at me. It's the same situation when I clean my room. It's like cleaning up my mind. So when I was forced to dump a bunch of stuff the moment I had picked up one item too many, it felt like I was littering trash from the deepest, darkest part of myself, and now everyone could see what a hoarder I was. Some things are better kept secret. And that was 5 heartbreaking moments we had to suffer through when playing Divinity Original Sin 2. Some more easy to get over than others. Thanks so much for watching this video, which, by the way, is sponsored by HonorPlay. They launch a new phone, which you might fancy checking out as it's made with gaming in mind. It's possible to have a peek at their store in the links provided below, but if you're not interested, how about looking at these other videos we have? You can also subscribe if you like this one, you can give it a like, and have an absolutely awesome day. Until next time!